Good morning, friends. Let's talk about paper two. Paper two is a great opportunity for you to make an argument about a piece of culture and figure out if it is, in fact, Scientology propaganda. And the way that you do this is you are now experts in Scientology. You're coming to the end of Going Clear, and you will watch the documentary Going Clear, which is available on many platforms for a couple bucks, or if you happen to be lucky enough to have HBO Max, you can watch it for free. But if you don't get to watch it for free, you're going to watch it for like $3 or $4, so it's okay. In paper two, I want you to use 3 sources. Only 3, and I'm going to tell you what those sources are. Going Clear, the book. Going Clear, the movie, and some piece of culture that is somehow related to Scientology or Scientologists. And you're thinking to yourself, how do I know if a piece of culture has something to do with Scientologists? Well, let me tell you, there are a great many Scientologists who are artists, who are very active in the entertainment industry. You know some of them from reading Going Clear. You know some of them from watching the movie. You can also just Google famous Scientologists and get a tidy little list. I'm going to throw some names out there. Elizabeth Moss, Beck, Juliette Lewis, and obviously Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Kirstie Alley, Giovanni Ribisi, who plays Phoebe's brother on Friends. There are many, many, many Scientologists in media in general. So you don't have to do a movie. You can do an episode of Friends that has Giovanni Ribisi in it. You can do, Elizabeth Moss has been in many, many fine television programs. So you could look at an episode of television that she's been in or a movie that she's been in. One of the things that I really want to encourage you not to do not watch Battlefield Earth. It is a terrible movie. It is also based on a book by L. Ron Hubbard. So when you do the work of showing that it has Scientology in it, you are not forced to be very creative because, like, it's based on a book by L. Ron Hubbard. Now, a fun way to approach this is to say, here's something that I really like that has a Scientologist in it. I'm going to look at this thing. Maybe it's a Beck song. Maybe it's a Beck video. I'm going to look at this thing and draw on my knowledge of Scientology and just see all the ways that because I now know about Scientology, I can see it working. And I'm going to give you an example. When I was a young person, pretty small, not a baby. I did not read when I was a baby. But let's say 7 or 8 years old, I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, who is a very prominent author, but a very prominent Christian thinker as well. And because I had not had a lot of exposure to like Christian iconography or any of that stuff, when I read it, I was just like, oh, it's a very cool story of these kids. Like they go through a wardrobe and they give them candy, but they're evil. Blah. And then if you go and you read The Lion and the Witch and the Wardrobe and you have some notion of Christianity, it's like, wow, how did I miss this? How did I miss this? So rather than trying to pick something that you think is going to make Scientology really obvious, why not take something kind of fun and kind of funny and see what you can find in it? So for example, I've had great papers on this very silly movie from the 80s called Look Who's Talking that stars 2 Scientologists, Kirstie Alley and John Travolta. It has talking babies. I mean, as soon as I say talking babies, the connection to Scientology could be really obvious if you've been reading closely. But in any case, rather than picking something, please don't let the first thing that you do be to Google movies with Scientology in them. Don't do it. Because I only want you to use 3 sources. I want to know how you see Scientology working in that text. I don't care how anybody else saw it. And I know that when you're trying to figure out how you're going to do this paper, you're like, I don't even know where to start. I should just, I should have some guidance. I should have something to base this on. That's why I have sample papers for you to read in the file section of our Canvas. And that's why I'm encouraging you to look at a list of famous Scientologists, think about the stuff that you like, that they maybe have done, and work with that. Ideally, I would love it if you went to a film or a TV episode that you'd seen in the past before you knew about Scientology, and could get in there and with your new knowledge, as I did with The Lion and the Witch and the Wardrobe, see all the different ways that these ideas were coming through, right? Because Scientology, like all religions, like all cults, it's a system of ideas, right? And it's a way that you interpret the world and make sense of the world. So how is this film encouraging people to make sense of the world in the same way that Scientologists do? Are there moments where it seems like people are thinking that they can take more responsibility for world events than they should? For example, for a Scientologist, the light doesn't change from red to green because that's what stoplights do. The light changes from red to green because they're working their Scientology, right? Because Scientologists believe that they can make this huge difference in the world. So in that sense, it's a religion about turning regular people into superheroes. So you see how that is going to be like really readily translated into media. There's one film that is off limits besides Battlefield Earth. That is After Earth with Will Smith. There's a great article explaining all of the connections between After Earth and Scientology. And Will Smith, he says he's not a Scientologist. Walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. He's a duck. He's a Scientologist. He's given a bunch of money for Scientology schools. He's a duck. So, for example, if you have a favorite Will Smith movie, I'm blanking on the name right now, but there's the one where he plays a superhero. He kind of plays a superhero in all his movies. So, in any case, I am really excited for y'all to get going on paper 2. I am going to be giving you a chance to come to me and talk through your drafts. Rather than giving everybody comments on that first draft, set up a time with me. We'll talk it over. So, and of course, there'll still be a workshop so that you get feedback from your fellow students. And the workshop is going to be the most important deadline. As always, our workshops are always the most important deadline, because if you miss that deadline, you're out of the workshop. That's the way computers work, and that's also the way working with other people works. If you're not there on time, we can't all wait for you. In any case, I hope that you're enjoying spring. I hope you're taking a lot of stuff for your allergies. These dogwoods are just giving me life. Can you believe how lucky we are to live among such beautiful blossoms? I hope you're enjoying it. I'll see you soon.